Welcome back. This is part three in a series on using mobile to raise money for your church or nonprofit. Once again, this is Tom Anderson, Senior Vice President for Nonprofit Development for 2Donate, a company that's in the business of supporting churches and nonprofits as well as political campaigns with mobile marketing tools. So this is part three in the series called Building Databases. So there's several different ways we can build these databases. The first is simply by sending a text message. We can put out a call to action to our audience, asking them to send in a text message by texting a keyword to short code. When that happens, the database will capture that cell phone number and allow us then to reach back out to that person through their cell phone at a future time. We can also do it just the old-fashioned way, having people fill out a paper form. The other kind of a third way that we can build databases, we have a widget that you can actually download to a tablet. It could be just a simple Android tablet or an iPad, and people can then just physically key in their cell phone number on that tablet. It puts their cell phone number right into an associated database, and you can start building your databases that way. So a couple of things to think about. The first is we want to start early. The only better time than tomorrow to start building a cell phone database was yesterday. So start doing it right away, even if it's just with the paper form that I mentioned in the previous slide. And use all available channels every time you have an opportunity at a live assembly. Print ads, great opportunity to build text messaging based or cell phone number based databases. You can bring a print ad to life by saying something like, for more information on this event, to find out more about our cause, to see some information about our church, text info to 72727, and then what will happen is they'll get a text message back. You can put a link in that text message to a mobile website like we talked about in the previous series, the previous session. You can put a link to a video, perhaps a YouTube video. You can just have a series of little short pieces of information. Just depends on what it is you want to let people know about. Events. Let's say you're doing a community-wide event where you've got a table set up, a booth. In the past, you've been typically probably handing out brochures or flyers. Rather than doing that, ask people to text in to get the information texted directly back to them with a link to a mobile website that has all the kinds of information on it that you would normally put on a flyer. Now you're doing a couple of things. You're cutting back on your printing bill. You're also cutting back on the amount of paper that's going to the landfills, because those flyers tend to get thrown away pretty quickly. You're capturing a cell phone number of an interested party that you can then reach out to later on and invite to an event or to volunteer or to come out to your church. Outdoor signs, another great idea. I love the idea of putting a sign on a church sign out in front of the building. Find out more information. Text church info to 72727, and then we can push that information out to folks via text right where they're going to respond to it. We need to give people a reason. I've been talking about kind of information to find out more sorts of things, stay in touch sort of things, get valuable information. But sometimes it also makes sense to entice folks to join our database through some sort of giveaway. Maybe it's a text to win. People love having their opinions asked. You can run polls. You can do voting. You can run surveys through our message platform. All a great way to engage with the public, build up your database, and get your word out. Daily, weekly inspirations. A minister has a congregation. Start a weekly inspiration text or a daily inspiration text going out to people. Great way to take the Sunday morning message, for example, and remind folks of key points of it throughout the week so they can take it with them everywhere they go. So all those are just ideas. They're great ways of disseminating information, but again, while you're doing that, you're also building up a database that will have value. So in the next part, in part 4, we're going to start moving into taking all this information, pulling it together, and using it as a way to raise funds and awareness for your church, your nonprofit, or even your political campaign. Thanks again for taking a look. Again, this is Tom Anderson from 2Donate, and click on through and let's meet again on the other side in part 5 where we'll pull it all together. Thanks a lot.